You know, they're in that perfect age sweet spot, but they're thinking like they're on prune juice from Sunsweet. They're young and restless. But when it comes to stocks, more like stodgy. According to a variety of new studies now, millennials want no part of stocks. And since many youngies' only view of the markets has been through the prism of their young lives, lives filled with shocks and crashes, meltdowns and hiccups, Celia Bigelow says, who can blame them? Although Celia is trying to change them. It's a tough sell, isn't it, Celia?
It's absolutely tough. I mean, young people have already made a huge investment in their future, and that was through college. So young people are graduating with an average student loan debt of $30,000 or above, and with only a chance of getting a job after college. 6 in 10 young Americans only have jobs nowadays, and half of which have full-time jobs. So the money that we're scraping by to get by with, we're using towards paying off our college debt, paying rent, paying for food.
No, I understand that, but even when they have a little money left over, they're not inclined to like stocks. Either they find it's a rigged game, or they find that these multi-year averages, most of the brainiacs I talk to say that the trend favors younger investors if they stick with it over time. They're not convinced, and they don't want in. How do you get them in, or should you get them in?
I don't even know if we should, Neil, because right now we're still seeing the Federal Reserve holding interest rates extremely low, which is what caused the financial meltdown in the first place, which my generation lived through. And either it was
so you're suspicious, Celia, you're suspicious of everybody then. And no, I understand where you're coming. Seriously, I understand where you're coming from, but you don't either have great trust in the government or these large entities espousing, help from the government.
No, absolutely not. Like I said, the stock market's doing great right now, but the Federal Reserve is still keeping interest rates low, which obviously caused the financial meltdown in the first place. And the financial meltdown in 2008 directly affected some of our families, or directly affected us in the first place. And it directly affected me in the first place because my college savings account was severely affected by that.
But
so I don't
let me
think
tell you
young
this,
people are
Celia,
very
because
trusting.
you're young enough to be my daughter, so take no offense to this. It's the same thing I tell my own daughter. Whatever the gyrations of the market, because you're so young, over the course of time, between reinvested dividends and interest, even in a flat market, you are going to come out ahead, and time is your friend. And after many years,
I don't know if that's true, though, Neil.
Hear me out. Hear me out. This is typical of your generation. You don't hear your wise elders.
Sorry.
All right. And I'm just saying to you that a little money goes a long way, compounded over many, many years. Now, you're telling me that your generation simply doesn't believe it, doesn't want in on that, and just ain't buying that, right?
No, if we look to our future and the debt that the federal government is leaving us, our generation knows that we're going to be working well.
So what are you going to do with your money,
years.
Celia? You have a great future. What are you going to do with it?
I'm scraping to get by myself. So right now I'm saving to hopefully buy a house in the future.
But what are you saving it in? Are you just saving it in a savings account?
I'm saving it in my savings account and my checking account right now. We're all scraping to get by, Neil, and we don't have a lot of money to invest right now. And that's just the reality that a lot of young people are facing.
Do you participate in either a 401k plan or anything like that?
Well, if you're lucky enough to find a full-time job, a lot of your employers provide that for you, but a lot of young people don't have that luxury right now.
Wow.
And we're also having to save for the future health care program that's about to be implemented in the future we're going to take a huge hit with as well.
Do you watch Fox Business, Celia? No. All right. Seriously, Celia, very good having you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's a challenge, in this society, winning over folks like Celia, winning over young people in general. And it's like they talk right past each other, right? So unless you wow them, you are never getting them.